House of the Dragon's Alicent Hightower, Olivia Cook, seems like a natural stand-in for Cersei Lannister, Lena Headey, at least on the surface. Both are women who marry the king, for politics and power rather than love. Both see their own influence grow after the monarch's demise, with their sons inheriting the Iron Throne. Both scheme, manipulate, and do just about anything necessary to protect their own interests and loved ones, most specifically, their children. That was true of Cersei until they had all died, which led to her full pivot into the villain to be defeated in Game of Thrones' ending. House of the Dragon Season 2's ending saw a pivot from Alicent, too, but of a different sort. While she had previously been steadfast in her belief that her son, Aegon, was the rightful ruler of Westeros, and that it was too late to do anything about the misunderstanding that had led her there, she had a change of heart by the finale. Alicent essentially promised to open up the City of King's Landing for Rhaenyra Targaryen's conquest in House of the Dragon Season 3, which was a huge shift for the character. Cersei never would have made Alicent's choice. They aren't so similar after all. As Tyrion Lannister noted back in Game of Thrones Season 2, if Cersei had a redeeming quality, besides her cheekbones, it was that she loved her children. And it was a truly fierce kind of love. She would do absolutely anything, and destroy anyone, if it meant protecting them. When they're gone, the last shreds of her decency go too, and she becomes much colder, harsher, and even more willing to go further in punishing those who dare stand against her. On the flip side, Alicent decides that Rhaenyra can kill Aegon and Aemon Targaryen, willingly allowing 2 of her children to die, and King's Landing to fall. Of course, Alicent does this in order to protect her 2 other, nicer kids, but it's not a choice Cersei would have made. She knew Joffrey Baratheon was a monster, but would never have knowingly allowed anything to happen to him. The closest comparison is that she was prepared to take her own life and Tommen's rather than fall into the hands of Stannis Baratheon, but that was not giving something up to her enemy. How Alicent's decision complicates her future. What will happen to her in House of the Dragon Season 3? Having turned away from simply being Cersei's replacement in House of the Dragon, Alicent's future looks a lot more complicated, not least because her decision is somewhat doomed to backfire. Unbeknownst to her, Aegon has fled King's Landing with Larys Strong. When Rhaenyra arrives in the city and demands the king's head, he'll be nowhere to be found, and she may well suspect Alicent of double-crossing her. Unlike Cersei, who would be looking for ways to defeat Rhaenyra and cling on to power, Alicent may simply be looking to survive fire and blood. The book on which House of the Dragon is based isn't too much help, as the plot line of giving up Aegon is a show invention. Alicent's role there is simply being imprisoned by Rhaenyra, with little mentioned about her while her former friend takes the Iron Throne. The HBO series will inevitably have to expand upon this, since they are its 2 main characters. Alicent will have to live with the guilt of being ready to sacrifice her son, perhaps convince Rhaenyra that she didn't lie to her, and could even end up working with her. It's all a stark contrast to Cersei, and means House of the Dragon Season 3 will set the 2 characters even further apart.